This is Kamera. My first few minutes with God, day 74, Deuteronomy chapter 11 through 13. Again, Moses is addressing the children of Israel. This is a continual thing. And he's urging them and reminding them to obey God mainly. And in this case, he starts off telling them, you guys have witnessed God firsthand. You saw all the miraculous wonders and signs that he performed in front of you. Your kids didn't see this. You saw this. You saw when he spoke at the mountain. You saw when he opened up the Red Sea, part of the Red Sea. You saw when he destroyed Egypt. And he just points out a few things, opening up the ground, swallowing people. You guys saw this. So obey God. If you obey God, you'll have a long, full life in this promised land that he's giving you. Commit yourself to God. Isn't that something? And guys, this is the same God that we serve. Listen to the promises. Listen to what he's asking of them. He says, the land that God has given you is a rich land. And he talks about this land. And he says, God even watches over this land. Isn't that something? So it's added blessings. And so he tells them, obey God, love God, serve God with your whole heart and your soul. Isn't that something? And you'll have continued prosperity. Don't let your heart be deceived. Don't turn away from God. Don't serve idols. Don't do this, because if you do, God's anger will burn against you, and he will shut up that sky. And when he shut that sky, no rain, so you're not going to have fruitful lands anymore. The grounds are going to fail and you will eventually die. So he tells them, commit yourself to God. Be committed to God. Teach your children about God. Talk about God day and night, everywhere. When you're in your cars, when you're at home, when you're at your dinner table, write down his promises, his commands on doorposts, on your gates, everywhere. But he wants us to have him at our first mind all the time, which is a pretty much easy thing to do, because we're observing life and we see him in life. So he tells them to commit themselves. He says, show love to God by walking in his way. That's how you show God that you love him, by walking in his way. He says, wherever you walk in this new land, it will be yours. And God is going to drive out those enemies. He says, no one will be able to stand against you. That is a beautiful thing, because it's the same God. When we're for God, God is for us. And he says, God has given you the chance to be blessed or cursed. We have a chance, guys. It's all up to us to be blessed or cursed. And he tells them, when we are obedient to God, we'll be blessed. When we reject God, we will be cursed. It's just that simple, guys. But we can't do this without God's help. He knows our temptation. He knows our struggle. If we set our heart to want to please God, we're going to seek him for help when we have these struggles. Isn't that something? He's so good. He even forgives. If we fall, he helps us get right back up, and we will be blessed. Remember, he's always there. He tells the children of Israel, when you go into this land, tear down those idols, tear down those shrines, get rid of them, destroy them. And he says, and don't worship God the way you work, the way those other people worship their pagans. He says, seek the Lord at the right place of worship, the one that he chooses. He's going to show them where to worship him, and again, worship him the way he tell you to worship him, with the offerings, with the tithes, in all the worship that you do for God. He's going to have a designated place for them to worship. When he places you in that place of rest, you have a designated place to worship. And there's different types of worship, not only in your giving and your going to church, but also in the way we live and how we shower him with love, our praises and the celebrations, those places of worship. And so there will be order. Right now, there's some order, but there's going to be more order. And he tells them, he says, never neglect the Levites. Guys, don't forget our leaders. Don't neglect the leaders. Don't do that. God is very serious about that. Be careful to obey God. And so all will go well with us and our children. Isn't that something? That's what he's telling the children of Israel. God is going before them to destroy those nations and to drive them out. He says, do not fall into the enemy's trap following their customs. They even put their children through the fire to sacrifice to idols. Isn't that something? Obey God's commandments. Don't add or take away from it. And he's telling them, he's warning them about prophets as well, false prophets. So, guys, he's warning them about those false prophets. They exist. And there you have it, guys. Day 74, Deuteronomy chapter 11 through 13. You have a God-filled, blessed day.